So, Christopher Nolan's film, The Odyssey, just hit theaters and is completely crushing at the box office. Despite that, I still see a lot of discourse online about the way Nolan makes his films and whether or not his adaptation of the Odyssey story is lore accurate. Well, if that deters you from watching this movie and it leaves you on the fence, that's what I'm here for. Hi, my name is Mercy Unscripted, and I make video essays and character analysis about TV shows and films that interest me, and this is actually the first video in a series that I'm doing here on this channel called Before You Watch, where I give you everything that you need to know about a film, whether it's the director, the DP, the music composer, all of that good stuff to help you better inform your decision on whether you want to spend your hard-earned money on watching this film. Now, with that being said, let's get right into it. The Odyssey is directed by none other than Christopher Nolan, the man behind the Dark Knight trilogy, Interstellar, Inception, Dunkirk, Tenet, and Oppenheimer. There's so many blockbuster movies that this man has made. He is probably the best film director of our time and the most decorated with awards from our time. He's definitely known for his ambitious scale in the film industry. The budget for The Odyssey was just over $250 million, making it Nolan's most expensive film. And let me tell you, he does not waste a single penny of that budget. He shot this movie in over 6 different countries using all IMAX cameras. The Odyssey is the first movie to ever be shot fully on IMAX cameras because they developed a new IMAX camera specifically for this film called the Keeley camera, named after David Keeley, Christopher Nolan's longtime mentor in IMAX filming. Now combine all of that with the laundry list of A-list actors and you have the blockbuster of the summer. And we all know by now that Christopher Nolan does not shy away from any kind of filmmaking challenge, whereas he is known for doing a lot of practical effects. Like 90% of his movies are practical. He does everything that he can in film, in camera, as much as possible and leave the impossible to be done through VFX. Now let me tell you about the DP. The director of photography for most of Nolan films is Hoyt van Hoytema, and he is Christopher Nolan's #1 duo. His notable films being everything that I basically said earlier, but he also has films outside of Christopher Nolan like Her, Nope, and Ad Astra. This man has also been praised for being one of the best cinematographers of our time. He's most known for revolutionizing the day for night shooting technique by inventing a custom dual camera 3D rig that captures digital infrared footage and 65mm large format film simultaneously. This man is a pioneer and a living legend that deserves a full-on video all on his own. So if you ever see his name attached to any film in the future, just know that you are going to get a visually unique experience. Now let's talk about music. The Odyssey sounds amazing, and believe me when I tell you that you can feel the sound of this movie. Now, if you don't know what that means, go watch it, come back and tell me you'll completely understand. But all of that is due to none other than Ludwig Göransson, who is easily my favorite film composer ever. This man has ceased to stop producing banger after banger after banger. If his name is attached to the film, it's gonna sound amazing. He's done Oppenheimer, Sinners, Tenet, Black Panther trilogy, Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu, Fruitvale Station, Creed 2, Creed 1, Turning Red, Venom, the list goes on and on. The man doesn't miss, and I can say that full confidently that he's not gonna betray me anytime soon. But if you don't really care about all of that industry mumbo jumbo jargon, then let me just lock you in on the story. The Odyssey follows the ancient Homer's tale broken into 3 separate stories: the Trojan War, Odysseus's journey home, and the story of Ithaca. This is by no means a original work of fiction, and we should all be immensely familiar with this story, whether we learned it in class or if you were just like me who didn't learn it in school and just watched the 1954 movie Ulysses, which was a pretty decent adaptation as well. The original poems of Homer were broken down into 24 different books, and only about 4 of those were about the journey of Odysseus making it back home. And those 4 books is where Christopher Nolan does majority of his work in making the story feel like his own. He breaks up each part of Odysseus's journey back home and flushes them out in a way that we haven't really seen before, giving each one its own time to breathe while simultaneously telling us a story about what's happening in Ithaca at the time of his journey and replaying the flashbacks of the Trojan War without it bogging down the pacing of the story. This is where Christopher Nolan truly shines and makes the story his own, instead of it just being the run-of-the-mill adaptation retelling retelling of the same ancient historical text. The Odyssey has a lot of things going for it that I think everyone can enjoy. Whether you're going for the large ensemble of actors or the big names that's behind the scenes like Ludwig Göransson, Hoytman Hoytema, and Christopher Nolan, who's also been deemed as the IMAX king. Or if you just love the Odyssey story and want to watch a modern retelling of that story on a big screen, I think that you'll be in for an experience that you will not forget, especially with a man like Christopher Nolan directing this film. He's so dedicated to the craft that you can expect no less than the highest tier of quality from his movies. But this is Before You Watch, where I give you everything that you might want to know about a film before going into it. If you do decide to go watch the Odyssey and give it a chance, please come back to this video, leave a comment, tell me what you think about it. Also, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, please. I'll be dropping a lot more videos if this series does good. So I'll see you guys in the next one.